Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I wanted to discuss my reasons as to why I decided to start juicing and how it has impacted and changed my life. Listen, so good. So I started juicing about 7 months ago, and honestly, it has impacted my life tremendously. I started juicing back in June of 2022. So during the pandemic, I was home. I worked from home and I began eating. I was eating everything, but intentionally eating because I was at a point where I wanted to gain weight. Listen, I was scrawny, I was skinny, I was under 100 pounds. I think I was like maybe 82, 83 pounds at the time. And prior to that, I was a full-time student. I was a full-time mom. I also worked full-time as well. So I was extremely busy and I didn't really get in my meals like I needed to. But so when the pandemic started, I was like, oh, well, I'm home all day. This is the perfect, I was done with school at the time. This is a perfect opportunity for me. I'm home with my daughter. I don't have to wake up with the routine of having to wake up early, drop her off, make it in the office in time to work or whatever. I can actually make my meals. So I started eating 4 meals a day. I was eating snacks in between. I was using MyFitnessPal in order to count my calories, to manage my calories, to make sure that I was getting my calories per day, tracking my calories, and that is how I gained over 20 pounds. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the weight, but it started to take a toll on my body. I wasn't eating healthy at the time. I was eating whatever I needed to gain weight. I was eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a lot of carbs. I was eating a lot of mashed potatoes. I was making a lot of pasta, a whole lot of white rice with I love vegetables. Naturally, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but of course I incorporate it into my meals, but the bulk of what I was eating were protein shakes. I was drinking Ensure as well. I was drinking Boost Plus in order to pack on the weight. And yes, again, it helped, but it caused me to have knee pain. I started to have a lot of back pain. And so during that time, I started to go to the hospital because I'm like, something is wrong. My back was really hurting me really bad. It was really hard to sleep at night. I was tossing and turning. I started to have brain fog. I remember one time actually being at work and my boss was having like a little trivia for us or whatever when we were on a Zoom call, which she often does just to make sure we're staying up to par with our knowledge base in the field. And for whatever reason, I couldn't keep up. And I've been in this field, I've been in this company for over a decade. I just couldn't keep up, and I actually had to message her like, hey, can you type up the questions for me so that I can read them and answer them? And it was at that moment I realized, I'm like, okay, something has to be wrong. So I started to go. First I went to the emergency care. I went to like 2 different emergency cares. They would just give me like medication for muscle spasms or whatever, but that would only help me for like 5 hours out of the day. I'll try to take it to relax my muscles while I sleep. During that time as well, my daughter had dropped something on my back, so we weren't really sure as to why I was having the pain, but I had a lot of knee pain as well. I was just very uncomfortable. It was hard to walk. And during this time, y'all, I wasn't exercising at all. I really wasn't exercising. I wasn't taking care of my health. I was only solely focused on just putting on the weight, because when you've been skinny all your life, all you care about is that this hair, sorry. All you care about is if once you gain a pound, 2 pounds, you get to 5 pounds, 10 pounds, you're like extremely happy, because that's something I struggled with my entire life. I've just always been really skinny. So the doctors just wasn't working. It was medication after medication. I went to my OBGYN. At some point I really thought something was wrong with me. I'm like, maybe I got cancer, like something is wrong. Like I feel like something is wrong. Went to my gynecologist. I went to my primary care doctor. We're doing blood work. I'm going to the hospitals. I'm going to the emergency room, and I'm just not getting the relief that I need. So I was just at home, and y'all know, sometimes we're at home. We usually use Google. If we're not using Google search, we're on YouTube University. So I just so happened to end up being on YouTube, looking at my For You page, my recommended page, and this video popped up with this doctor that was talking about inflammation. So I don't know why I was so I felt so led to watch the video. So when I watched the video, he was talking about like the sugar intake and how it can impact inflammation in your body. And I'm not a doctor, I'll let you know right now. I'm not a physician, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a licensed doctor at all to give you medical advice, but I'm solely telling you what works for me and how it has impacted me in my life. And if you are looking for some type of advice, this may work for you. But if you're on any special diets, if you have any medical needs, seek a doctor before you take my advice, please. I will not be responsible for you, okay? But with that being said, I started watching the video and he was talking about inflammation and how inflammation impacts your the sugar intake can impact your inflammation. And so I was like, okay, well, let me research more on inflammation. And it was basically so much. It was talking about just your diet, your stress level, and at that time I was extremely stressed with work. I had a lot going on with my father, who was dealing with a mental illness. What else happened? So much was happening during the pandemic. My sister's fiance unalived himself during that time as well. It was just so much going on that I was dealing with that was new, and it was causing, my body was reacting to all that stress. So then I was like, okay. And then after, you know how YouTube is, once you watch one, I think I spent the whole day just watching videos, and they were talking, I started catching on to juicing videos. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta mind my sugar intake and my carbs, right? Because I'm at this point, I'm addicted to Sprite. I'm drinking Sprite all day, Sprite with grenadine. I'm actually adding I'm adding the mini cans of pineapple juice in there as well, mixing that in there. I was just making all types of concoctions at home, juicing concoctions in order to drink. I was making smoothies. I was just, my sugar intake was all over the place. Wow. And once you find out how much sugar is in a can of Sprite, you understand why your body reacts the way it does. So then I was like, okay, well, I got to cut back on the sugar. And I started watching juicing videos. So I was watching a lot of juicing videos. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to juice. I'm going to start juicing because something has to change. So I did cut down on the sugar. When I started juicing, I stopped buying the regular juices. I stopped drinking soda. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to take this healthy route, I really need to cut everything off in order to see if it's going to impact me. Now, to be honest with y'all, I'm not someone that is consistent with lifestyle changes. I'm rarely consistent with anything in life right now. I struggle to be consistent. I'm all over the place. So when I started the juicing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut out the Sprite and the juices and just juice whatever I want to drink for the day or whatever. So I purchased a juicer. I didn't purchase one of those extravagant juicers, the $500-$600 ones, because like I said, I'm not someone that is consistent with keeping things. I will literally start and never finish. So I bought a juicer that was within, I believe it's like $150, $160. I'll tag it down below as well, and that is the juicer I will show you as well. So I started using the juicing. I purchased my fruits and vegetables, started really soft with just like pineapple and oranges and beets as well. Beets are really good for you, and I started juicing those things. My first one, I believe, was like a green juice that I made, which was really good. It wasn't bad at all. So I started drinking that on the daily, and within a week or two, I started to realize how the juicing had impacted my body. I was waking up earlier. I was very sharp. I started getting real sharp, having more energy to do things. And I'm like, wow, you know, my diet was really causing a heavy weight on my soul. I started to juice some of the products. I started to juice some fruits and vegetables together, making green juices. I was making beet juices, and that was the primary two juices that I would drink. And then in the midst of that, I was drinking water as well. But again, I cut off all sugars, sugary drinks. If I went out, I either had fruit juices. If I was going to a kid's party or something, I had the little jars. I'll link them down below as well. I knew that in order to be consistent, I had to carry around the juices with me. So I carried the juices, the bottle of juice with me everywhere I went. I remember going to a kid's party, and I walked in there. I think I had a jar or two jars with me. And at a kid's party, you just know it's going to have Sprite. It's going to have soda. And so I wanted to make sure that I had something that I could drink so I'm not triggered. So I brought the beet juice and I made it. And everyone's like, what is that? I'm like, oh my God, I have to explain. I'm like, I'm drinking, I'm juicing. And automatically when you tell someone you're juicing, they're thinking you're on a diet, or, you know, I was eating regular food. I just had to juice because I started off slow with just cutting out the sugar within my drink. So that really helped me. So before juicing, I mean, I was sluggish. It was just slowing me down. I couldn't get things done. I felt weighted down. I was eating a lot of processed food during that time. I wasn't getting in my fruits and vegetables as I should on a daily basis. My meals weren't balanced at all. I was eating a lot, but I started eating chips, everything that I know that people normally eat when they need to gain weight. So I wasn't gaining healthy weight at all. I started just doing whatever I needed to do to pack on the weight immediately. So that's basically why I started juicing. At the end of this video is why I will pack in one of the recipes of the juicing recipes that I use as well. But there's so many available on the internet. I will continue to share some of the recipes that I use. I've found how to make, you know, nice fruit juice, fruit punch. I make grapefruit and orange juice. There's so much combinations. Beet juice are my favorite. I have to have one a day. The green juice with the celery, the cucumber, the spinach, celery, cucumber, kale. Sometimes I put a kiwi in there and pineapple in there to sweeten it a little bit. Definitely is one of my favorites as well. I've done cabbage, red cabbage with pineapple. So there's all of the vegetables and fruits have their own benefits to them. I usually research the benefits, and based on that I know exactly which one to concoction to create. But it's been a joy. It's actually been really fun just coming up with different concoctions that I can. And my daughter also has started juicing with me as well. I don't normally bring the juices in the house, so whenever she wants something, if I do pineapple and oranges are her favorite. She also just started drinking the beet juice. She hated the taste and the smell of the beet juice, but now she actually loves it. She says it gives her more brain power, and she's homeschooled with me, so now whenever she wakes up, she feels like she needs to have a beet juice in order for her to go throughout her day. So I know it works. I guarantee it works. It's in that it's packed with nutrients that helps her throughout the day. So that's it. That's exactly why I started juicing. A lot of people ask me all the time why I posted juicing videos out of nowhere, and it's just to share with you all some of the combinations that I've come up with. I periodically change it, whatever I have available. I find that my fruits and vegetables aren't going bad, because prior to it going bad, I usually just process it through the juicer and store it. I juice for about 3 days at a time because I like things fresh. So I know some people juice for like 7 days straight. I'm sorry, unfortunately I just can't do that. I juice for 3 days, and within that 3rd day I'm juicing again for the next 3 days, and I keep them in the jar, airtight in the jars, and they're usually fresh. Sometimes I do a little bit more. If I plan on running errands throughout the day, I would grab a juice to go with me, because again, if you have it with you, it is a lot easier for you to become consistent and to not, like, if I'm going to stop and grab something to eat, if I have a bottle of juice with me, I would rather drink that with my meal than to just go ahead and get an iced tea, or to get a lemonade or a Sprite. If you're like me, a Sprite is my go-to. So I find that it's been easier for me to and more convenient to just have my juices available. If you're interested, all the supplies that I use for my juicing, I also do immunity shots as well. Those will be posted in the description box for your purchase and available on my Amazon storefront as well. But happy juicing if you plan on juicing. If not, if you have any questions, I'm not a dietitian. I don't have the science as to how juicing affects your body. I do not juice to lose weight, although it has balanced my weight. It has caused me, and I've slowed down on eating rice, so therefore it keeps my belly down a little bit more. But I know it's healthy for me. It's good for my body. It's something that I can probably say I'm addicted to. My body craves to have those nutrients in it. I stopped taking my daily vitamins and just juice my vitamins throughout the day as well. So thank you so much for joining me on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel as well, so that you never miss another video. If you like content like this, if you have any videos, anything that you would like to know, don't forget to comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond back to you. Thank you.
Peace.